Welcome back to JB Reviews. On this side, I have a Ford F350 7.3 liter gas, and as you most know, I have a 23 GMC Sierra 3500 with a Duramax diesel. They both have 10-speed transmissions, and we're going to do a fuel economy run today because it's super cold outside, and I want to see, is it worth stepping up to a diesel, or is it worth just getting a gas truck? Now, this is the best gas truck on the market, so we're going to put it to the test. Now, obviously, this truck does have 18s. My GMC has 20s, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, in a lot of cases, these things don't really make a huge difference. Now, I will say I may need to air up the tires on the Ford because they are a little bit low, and that may help a little bit with the fuel economy. So I am going to air these up before we go. But we're going to take the Duramax out first. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here are the numbers for the GMC. So I'm at 18.4 at 11.6 miles. I'm about to make my final turn here. And all in all, I will say something about these diesels is they are so quiet today. And a lot of that has to do with the emissions control. You know, people cry about the noise that diesels make when they're sleeping at night. It's just a lot of stuff just choking up the diesel, so it does make it a lot quieter, man. Look at these views. Oh my gosh. It looks absolutely stunning. But all in all, I filled up, and you guys are gonna see the numbers here. Like, it is expensive. That's the only negative thing about these diesels, man. I'm telling you, that is the only negative thing, is they are super duper expensive to fill up. $160 to fill up a diesel. And I'm gonna go to the same station, and I'm gonna basically start off in the same spot that I did, so you're gonna see similar miles. And what I'll do is, I was gonna just go off of the computer, which again, I can really go off the computer because you have to understand, when you're driving at a consistent speed, the numbers are really the same. Like, I do believe that the computer is sometimes more accurate. Well, not accurate, sometimes it's lower, I should say. It's a little bit lower than what the pump has said. And that's probably how I drive the truck. I probably drive it a little bit better than most, because some people say that they always get 2-3 miles worse. And I think a lot of that has to do with idling, or just like a lot of city driving, because I do notice city driving does hurt these trucks too. But I'm already at 19 MPGs. Like, this is not bad. I got 4,300 miles, and I'm going about 65. Is that where I'm at right now? Yeah, I'm going 60. Let me get up to 65. Actually, I was going 65. Let me get up to 70. But yeah, check these mountains out. Like, this is a beautiful state. Despite the Ford having class-leading numbers in the gas segment, it still cannot compete with the lowest output diesel out there. Now, as far as horsepower goes, it does beat Ram's Cummins, but this thing has 445 horsepower compared to 430, and it has 910 pound-feet of torque compared to this 475. The numbers just don't add up. But keep in mind, this has a 10-speed behind this diesel. That's what makes this such a great option, and you're gonna see that. Now, this 10-speed is known as the ANDERSEN transmission. It does have a stamp of approval, but those things don't really matter because the way that GM designed this transmission, ANDERSEN said, hey, we're okay to put our name and back this transmission because you guys did basically what we would have done. And GM did something pretty unique with this truck. They did gear this thing up back with a 342 rear axle, and that's going to give you great fuel economy. And the 10-speed has deep gears. I think the first gear in this truck is like a 4 or something, and so when it starts in the 4s, you're going to have that really low end grunt, and because you have 10 gears, it keeps you in the broadband all the time. So again, gas trucks have a long way to go before you can really say they're better than a diesel option. Although there are some things that make them better. Let's just be honest. So we are going to do the 0 to 60 here in a second. I just want to kind of go over a few things. So one thing that you're going to see with this truck, I've been told that because this truck has the I think it's a 12-inch ring gear out back. You get full power right off the line. And I believe that's true. So one thing I will mention about the Ford is it does have a little bit of hesitation, so hopefully it doesn't do that, because the 0 to 60 might be really close. If it does, it might even beat it to 60, and the diesel should not beat the gas engine, because the one I drove a long time ago, it didn't have the same hesitation. So once it breaks in and everything, I guess it does, you know, respond a little bit differently. I'm going to try to run everything the same, so let's go ahead and shoot over here. All right, let's go. So let's face it, this one had a lot of delay too. It had a lot of delay there. But once it got going, it goes. But you expect that from diesels because the turbos do take a little bit of time to get going. So once they spool up, it's game over. Like, these trucks are just so fast. That's what I love about diesels. Like, they just have that ridiculous grunt low end. But like I said, if you were to hold the brakes and hold the gas at the same time, you can build the boost a little bit, and you would literally get better acceleration. So here's where we are. Let's go ahead. I'm at the gas station, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. So, oh my goodness, that was with the acceleration, guys. Holy smokes. 16.7 miles, so we will do the exact same route with the Ford, okay? I didn't want to make this video too long, so that's why I mapped out the drive, and then I decided to just, you know, get the footage on the way back, but the mileage should be the same, and I will drive the trucks the exact same too, all right? So I just got done filling up, and we got 0.772 gallons of fuel. All right, so 16.7 divided into 0.772 is, wow, that is not bad. Not bad at all. I want to mention I did not top off neither one of these trucks in this video. I didn't see the need to. If I was driving more than 100 miles, I would have. But for the sake of this test, I figured it was a short drive, about 16 miles round trip. So this is pretty accurate for the fuel economy, I think, for the pump. And the computer showed us a little bit less. So if you want to use the lesser of the two, feel free to do that. It feels weird pulling out of the driveway in a Ford truck. I see a blue oval in the middle of my steering wheel. But one day, this will be a reality because I have one on order. And I haven't even told you guys what I ordered. But hopefully I don't have second thoughts. I don't know what I bought, actually. I forgot. I don't even know what the papers are. And I still haven't gotten an email on what I have in terms of like a VIN number or anything. So I need to go back to the dealership and make sure we do have this truck actually ordered, because I will be very upset if I miss out on a chance to get one of the 2023s. But be that as it may, this is going to be a good observation for me when I get my truck, because maybe I will start looking at gas trucks a little bit more seriously. But if you watched the last video, I did give you my first impressions, and I'm hoping today I get a better like feel in this truck, because I didn't really like how the powertrain responded. But let's go ahead and get to the gas station. We're gonna go ahead and fill up, and we're already full. I just have to top it off basically, and then we'll get down the road. So here's what I hate about Utah. They do not have 93, and yeah, I would love to have a 93 fuel. But I'm gonna top it off one last time here, and we are pretty much done. So this one was pretty full. I put $160 something in my Duramax, but this is where you win at with a gas truck right here. See this? 388 compared to 539. That is a huge difference, guys. Huge difference. And the fuel economy is what's going to really hurt the diesel if this thing gets above, you know, 15 miles to the gallon, really. So let's go ahead and get down the road, because we're about to lose a little bit of sunlight here. I just reset the odometer for the trip 1, and we're going to get down the road here. Let's go ahead and go around this traffic circle. I want to see something real quickly. Yeah, these tires ride better with air in them. They ride way better. There's a little bit of sway with these tires too, just a little bit. It's not bad. I could feel the body roll more or less, but it's not bad. It'll be interesting to see how it does when we tow. I can't wait till I get my Ford, because I'll have 20-inch wheels, and then I'll be able to really, hopefully I'll remember how I felt in this truck, or I can just try to get it again. But hopefully it does good. But when we go to tow, that's gonna be where, you know, I'll be able to get a good feel for these tires, because they're maxed out at 80 PSI, or the truck was sitting for a little bit. Let me see what the tires are. They are at, yeah, they're basically all like at 80 PSIs. There's one at 79 PSIs, and the ones on this side are at 81, but the sun's over here, so I think they might have heated them up a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get down the road. I will show you guys the acceleration, and then in another video, I will put the footage together so you guys can see side by side 0 to 60. In case you were wondering, the truck is warm too. I didn't show that to you guys. The Duramax was already warm because my wife drove it today, and when she got home, when I started up, it was at 210. So all in all, this one is pretty much in the middle, so it's showing that it's warm. I'm gonna coast to this light here because I believe I went right through it. Perfect. So basically we're gonna go right through it this time too. But yeah, here's the tires. So they're pretty much maxed out there. And it might drop down a little bit tomorrow because, like I said, the sun was out today, so they're probably reading a little bit higher than they actually are. So I like to do it in the morning time before the sun comes out. That way they're actually cold. So just keep that in mind when you have the tire pressure monitoring on your trailer. You can really tell the difference on the tires when the sun is hitting the tires on one side of the trailer versus the ones that are in the shade. One thing I cannot deny here is this cabin feels a little bit more quieter than the Duramax. Now, it could be because there's more sidewall on the tire, but I think it's the overall feel, like overall quality of the cab. These seats do have more bolstering. I think some people were saying they didn't like the seats in the GM because they're a little bit harder. These seats are noticeably softer. I need to speed up, by the way. I'm only going about 50. I gotta go to 65 to make this fair. So let's go ahead and get up to speed. Perfect. Perfect. But yeah, getting up to 65, I can hear the tires a little bit more. Let me get up to about 69. Oh yeah, this is way better than 60 PSIs. I said in another video I did on my GMC, I aired the tires with the 80. Listen, it's gonna be a little bit more bumpier. It's gonna be a little bit more jolts inside the interior, but this is the way to go right here. I like max PSI. This is how I drive all my trucks. And because I was towing so much, I feel like this is better control. And the road noise did pick up a little bit more. So it's probably about on par with my GM now. I think this might be a little louder now. I was going 50 back there, and at 65, or at 69, it's noticeably louder. Hate it or love it, this is the king of the gas engine in the HD segment. This is the mighty 7.3 liter V8. So many diesel fanboys have switched over to this engine that it doesn't even matter if you're a Ram guy. You probably have switched over to the 7.3 because you tow a trailer like I do over here, and you don't want to sacrifice too much of that performance. So this is going to be good for 430 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 10-speed transmission, and this is probably the best option, although this was an option for 2022 model year trucks. So the standard one would be a 6.2 liter, and therefore I think that falls short compared to the GM and the Ram counterparts, depending on whether or not you get the F350. If you get an F350, 10 speed behind, that 6.2 is a good option. I have towed with it, and it worked really well. I figured it'd be a good time to show you the fuel economy numbers before we do the 0 to 60. Now, I did do the 0 to 60 in 2 different spots, and I did that on purpose because, like I said, I was trying to map out the route here. But what I'll do is I won't go as fast because I can definitely get up to 80-90 miles an hour on this road because this is a wide open road here. So let me go ahead and pull off here, and then we will do the 0 to 60 launch. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. Wow, it just wants to just accelerate. Wow. Wow. This is, yeah. You could probably hear it. The tires were literally fighting for traction. Like, these tires got to go. And I may have to turn on my air conditioner because it is really fogging up in here too. That was really good. Wow. So this is basically the halfway point. We've driven 8.2 miles, and yeah, we're basically at 13.9 MPG. I want to say with the diesel, I was probably at 19. So yeah, we know how this is going to end. But the problem I see here, I am using the Eco too. I did turn it on a little late, I'll be honest. But I figured because I was using the winter front grille on my GMC, this is kind of fair to use the Eco mode. Now, I did not use the Eco mode for the acceleration, so once I got done with that, I turned it on. So this should be a good point to prove here, like to see just how good it can get compared to the diesel. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I will be very surprised if we get over 15.5. That's kind of my bet here. It's gonna get around 15.5 or less. And I will say, if you're doing like an hour, 2-hour drive, you can go a lot further with the diesel on these types of roads. Like, there's not a lot of hills. There's a little bit of inclines, but not much. You can get an optional 430 rear end with the gas engine, and this one does not have it, unfortunately. So you do have a 373 rear. If you get a 250, I believe it comes as the 355 as a standard gear ratio, and obviously that's going to help better your towing capacity, so just keep that in mind. It is really cool to see that this truck can run 1500 RPMs above 60 miles an hour. I'm gonna go just a couple more miles per hour quicker. Let's go to 65. Let's just get there. Wow. It's just a hair over 1500 RPMs, like 1600 RPMs right now. So I think where this truck would really benefit for a test is probably an hour and a half long trip. So maybe in the future what I'll do is I'll redo this test and I'll go 40 to 50 miles, because this is probably where this is going to shine more at. With the diesel, it runs at lower RPMs, and when you're not in the boost, like that diesel is just hard to beat. It really is. We're going to make this last turn up here, and then we'll be pretty much back at the gas station in like 5 or so minutes. But I was hoping for a little bit better fuel economy at this point of the test, because I'm just comparing it right now to the diesel. It's just, yeah, 14.2. And keep in mind, it's 20 degrees outside, so that's probably going to hurt the gas engine more so than the diesel, because I had that winter front grille. So here's a quick look at the instant fuel economy here. It was running a little bit above 20 MPG earlier, but I'm about to slow down a little bit now. Let's take a look one more time at the fuel economy before we get to the station. We're at 15.1, so that's not bad. Like I said, we would have to finish at least in that 15.5 to 16 miles a gallon range, because like I said, I think that's like the sweet spot to compete with the diesel, I think, personally. But we might potentially get to 15.5. We might. Not looking good though. We are pulling in. This is scary. Do you guys want to know where we are? You'd never guess. You'd never guess. we are over 15 and a half. I am very surprised by that. So I had to eat my words there a little bit, because we're at 15.8 at 16.6 miles. I feel like in the diesel we went a little bit further. But yeah, 16.6 at 15.8 miles driven. That is not bad for a gas truck. Now I was using eco, and I did baby the throttle a lot. Like never mind, I can't say on camera what I did, but yeah, I definitely tried my best to get the best fuel economy possible. But let's go ahead and top it off and see what the pump says compared to the computer, and that will effectively end this video. Ladies and gentlemen, we burnt 1 gallon of fuel in 16 miles. Just a little bit over, actually. I'm not going to top it off because the tank is full. I would do the math, but we're going to just use 1 gallon, and if you figure 16.6, I mean, for those who want to see, 16.6 divided into 1 is 16.6. That's not bad when you consider the cost of fuel. I would venture to say this is very, very, very close to the diesel. Now, if the cost of diesel goes back down, that's where this truck could start losing, because I know people don't use 91 or 93 for the gas trucks, but if you're towing heavy with this thing, you have to use premium. Like, Ford doesn't necessarily tell you that, but it's an unspoken rule when you tow heavy, especially when you need that max performance going up steep grades at wide open throttle. Because when you don't use that premium fuel, you have to do some research on this, your engine could pull timing. So it's better for you to use that premium fuel, which will help with the performance and overall function of the gas engine. Well, that will pretty much end the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. In the comment section, does the gas 7.3 liter stand a chance against the diesel while towing? We're going to do some towing really soon, but be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. Trust me when I say this. Good things coming next year. You got to subscribe though. Let's go.